You good? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, Nino.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. This room smells like you haven't left it in 3 weeks.
No, I started to. In fact, the first week I spent about 50 hours in here. And then when I got back from my day off, I was like, not anymore. So now I kind of move a little bit. But
That's good.
Yeah.
If you spend too much time on location, you start to fucking hate it.
Yeah, I'm also not like I get claustrophobic like when I'm in a room. So that's why I like the court center, up on a mountain somewhere, something along those lines.
Yeah, 100%.
All right.
What do you want to talk about?
So a couple areas of like kind of clarification because I don't want to spin the wheels too much in like the wrong direction.
Sure.
So the weed legislation that came out that was very helpful for the decriminalization stuff. One thing that I was very interested in allowing for in the county of Los Santos is legal grow houses and dispensaries. And inherently, the idea would be that there would be a high level of restriction So the idea would be that you got to be clean, the employees got to be clean, and in addition to that, there would be like a series of restrictions around it. Very similar to how it was like 5+ years ago.
Mhm.
In addition to that, the dispensaries would follow a very similar system. And each of those entities would be given like very specifically, right? So there wouldn't be like many of them. There might be like 3 of each at most with no crossover. So in other words, the grow house would have to sell to the like a dispensary with his like no affiliations. Now with these, with the legislation that's in place, obviously that wouldn't be possible given the, the 1 ounce restriction, if I read it properly. So I guess my question is, let's say I wanted to go down this route. What would my first step be?
Well, for something as big as this, we probably would need to rope in the DOJ. This would probably be something that would require a pretty big reform effort to be made outside of just Los Santos County.
Okay.
Because at this point you're talking about changing laws and essentially enabling people to, or not changing laws, but you're creating exceptions for existing laws. So, allowing people to cultivate, allowing people to possess in certain amounts or under specific circumstances. I don't think anyone is opposed to this, but I do think that the Department of Justice is concerned about the large amount of criminal drugs and the amount of money that people are essentially thieving from the state with them.
Absolutely.
So, it's not in our interest to provide a way for criminals to have an even more convenient and easy way to do their ill dealings. So something like this were to happen, it should be a system that is well taxed, well regulated, and thoroughly enforced.
Absolutely. Like I think it should be extremely regulated to the point where if somehow a criminal element put their hand in it, they would pretty much be opening themselves up to getting hyper fucked.
Yeah, I think that's totally acceptable. Really, at this point, for your legislation, nothing will need to change. It would really just be the Department of Justice would have to do a rework of some of our laws to essentially kind of mesh them with what you want to do. What you do is not going to affect Blaine County, though. So we essentially maintain like standard laws that are statewide, and we're willing to change those and amend them specifically for specific counties if it would cause issues. But a lot of stuff is going to be case by case basis.
Okay,
right?
perfect.
So I think the first thing is let me grab all the other justices, put this in front of them, see exactly what they want from it, and I could probably just meet with you and start going through specifics of what we want to see and how we're going to do it, so we can get this moving forward.
Easy. That was going to be like the next, let's say, stage of legislation. Like we got a bunch of stuff we're looking to push tonight, but this was like kind of the next leg we were going to go down. The the primary thing is it's interesting. I think it can develop a lot of culture in Los Santos and possibly open up some interest for the PD side of things. Is it? Would you like us to kind of put something together, so that there's something in writing to kind of see where we're going with it, so we have something
Mhm.
to, start a conversation over.
Yeah, it's much easier for me to bring it to the justice and say,
Okay,
"Listen, Nino and his cabinet want to do this. This is what would be needed from us, or what
easy,
do we think about this?" Rather than me trying to explain what we just talked about here to them.
absolutely.
So if you have a document, because usually when it comes to legislation, it's much easier to just put it in front of them
Okay,
and have them read through it and give their thoughts rather than
okay,
explaining to them
hell
in
yeah.
emails. You know what I mean?
Okay,
It's obnoxious. So yeah, if you put together like a legislation piece or a idea board or whatever, what your direction you want to go is, I'll bring it with them and we can all
okay.
discuss it.
All right, easy. And so I guess like in within that topic, and I don't see any other areas where there's any like contesting that we need to do in regards to like state legislation. But let's say the time came. Oh, actually, we can use a FOIA one for example, right?
Hmm.
So the response on the um on the legislation board, let's call it, was there it is outside the scope of the like it goes against the Constitution, given the fact that the profiles are considered internal documents. Um,
Hmm.
let's say we wanted to challenge that, and or something
Uh,
along those lines. What
that
is
would
there
be
a
a
process?
legislative review. Then
Okay, and would the mayor's
yeah.
office go through the regular means, or would we do it like
So yeah, so if you wanted to challenge something like that, then you are going to go to the, let's see if I can find exactly what it's called. Legislative audit procedure. I believe is the document that we're looking for here. Okay, yeah. So it would be the legislative audit procedure. Effectively are going to create one of these. You're
yeah?
going to pay it to the DOJ. It's going to come from your state, from your county's budget.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, you're going to then, it's going to be posted to the docket, and the person that wrote the legislation, so I guess in this case it would be me, would be responding to it, sort of like the defendant almost, or the,
Oh, that
yeah,
makes
I
sense.
suppose. And then it's going to be a hearing between you and me, and arguments 2 and 4 will be presented, and then justice will then hear the arguments 2 and 4, and we'll make a decision,
Okay,
basically.
that is perfect. Yeah, I'm
So I guess I don't know who wrote this one. I think it was me, right?
I believe so. I think
Foya? I mean, I just signed this one. Crane wrote this, but
oh
yeah.
no,
Yeah, so it'd
well,
be me.
yeah. It
This
went
this one
Bailey and
this one
then
would be me.
yeah, easy.
You would just you would just pay the $50,000 fee to the
Hmm.
DOJ, and then it'll get posted up on the docket, and it'll just be
Okay.
kind of like a court case.
Oh, that is
Um,
sick. That is
so
sick. Okay, I really like that.
mhm.
Yeah, I was kind of begrudging that it was going to be like back and forth like forum stuff, and I was like, eh.
No. It'll be like, I mean, sure, like some stuff might get posted to the docket, but that's mainly just for scheduling and for it'll be arguments, oral arguments that are heard in a courtroom. So it won't be
Okay.
like a traditional court case. It's more so going to be sides presenting their arguments. Um,
Mm.
we don't have like a formal structure for it because we're not done one yet, but
Yeah.
that's part of the fun, figuring it out.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Hell yeah. All right. That's perfect. Well,
Okay, is
uh,
there anything else that you want to talk about?
not off the top of my head. Those were like kind of the big things I wanted to discuss since I've been kind of
Hmm.
Abilene does a lot of work, but I've got to pull the reins a little bit before I don't want anyone spinning their wheels before there's like clear guidance as to
Of
you know
course.
so
Are
all right,
you ready for what I have to tell you?
I'm excited.
So remember when I swore you in, I told you that we were going to be splitting the sliders and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're almost there. Um, the systems are going to be completely torn in two, so you'll have full control over everything in
Oh
the
shit.
jurisdictional map as it's written in the constitution is how it will be done.
Okay.
Um, so But you'll also have full control over pretty much everyone's pay basically in that border. So if
Hmm.
you're, for example, the state marshals, you'll have access to their pay. And the Blaine County mayor will also have access to their own version of the state marshal's pay, and where they are, depending on how much work they're doing, is how much they get paid. So,
Oh, wait. So
for
state
example,
marshals might get paid different depending on the county.
depending where they are, yeah. So
Oh shit. All right.
if I was down here and you had it set to 1,000, I'd get paid 1,000 an hour. But if I drove up to Blaine County and spent 2 hours there and they had it set to 2,000, I'd get $4,000. And the same goes
Oh
for
shit. Okay.
all of the jobs.
Hmm.
If a job is done up in the county, it will get paid based off of their pays, and if it's done here, it'll be get paid for yours. Same for
Oh
taxes as
my
well.
god, that is
Um,
sick.
Additionally to that, there's also going to be some new budgets and some new bank accounts that are being put in place, including one for your guys' county authorities. So the Blaine County Authority and the Los Angeles County Authority will get their own budgets, or their own bank accounts, I should
Hmm.
say. And they will get, I don't know exactly what the cuts are, but they're going to get a portion of fees and whatnot. The LSPD and the BCSO are also getting their own internal bank accounts.
Yes.
Um, they are
Yes.
going to be
Oh my
given,
god.
mhm,
Yes.
they will be collecting 25% of all fees,
Yeah.
or fines, I should say.
Hmm.
And the other 75% will be sent to the DOJ. So they will have
Okay.
their own budget. It's 25% of fines that they do. I
Um.
wouldn't say budget, but you know what I mean. They collect 25% of all fines, but that's only the
So
ones that they do down here. So LSPD only gets LSPD fines. Does that make sense?
yes. So I poked Booty about us setting rates and then it going
Hmm.
into their account, at which point they can then dole it out based on rank. Is it that filtered? Do you know?
No, it's not. It's just a
Oh,
simple a bank account where the entire PD gets that amount of the fine. So,
so does the government? So is that where all their money's coming from, or do we still set how much they're getting paid?
what do you mean?
So like
Oh, like
today,
the how much you would set your department's budgets independently. So
gotcha. Okay,
you would be setting the LSPD's pay structure, and
okay.
the Blaine County would be setting the BCSO structure. It
Oh,
would
that
just
is
be
fire.
simple. It's the same as before. It's basically split, so you don't have any control over it.
Okay,
Um, Also, due to some technical reasons that I don't really know how to explain, you
sure.
are going to be losing the ability to change times, but not fines.
Oh, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
So you won't. Blaine County will have control over people's times, but you won't. So,
So that leads to a question that I had a while back, but it was kind of.
mhm,
So let's say someone does a cash exchange.
mhm,
They are then arrested in Blaine County. Given that the crime initiated in the city, theoretically, based on the legislation,
mhm.
it is a Los Santos County arrest.
Yep.
Will the PD have the mechanism to do? Who does the? You know what I'm saying? Like who?
They get paid based off where they're processed. So if the BCSO
Oh,
takes them to up north and the crime was committed down south, I mean, they'd still bill them per the uh um the fine structure is essentially going to be in the MDT, and it will be kind of done automatically for them. I actually think that there's some things changing with the fine scaling too.
hmm.
So, but yeah, they get paid based off where they process them, not where the crime is committed.
So I gotta make sure that my tax money is not being taken.
Yeah, yeah. If someone commits a crime at a cash
Sons of
exchange down
bitches.
here, and the BCSO catch them up north, and they process them up north, they get
Okay.
paid for it.
So you're telling me BCSO could be taking my county's money,
I mean, it's not the county's money; it's the PD's money. But yes,
but it's the LSPD, and they could be
yes,
taking.
it's technically possible. Yeah, they could be. Yes,
Okay,
they could
I
be
had a
cutting it
feeling
on their
this could
funding.
happen. Who's that? Was this Andy's idea?
No, it was not Andy's idea. It was kind of the intention from the start.
Are tariffs possible if they're taking my fruit and selling it up north?
I mean, there's no thing that you can't put laws about that.
Okay.
So
All right.
I mean, genuinely, no. If you pass legislation saying that you had to pay $1 million to import fruit from the north, you could probably do it. So,
Okay.
I mean, I
All
wouldn't
right.
contest it.
FEMA camps down in at the docks. That's also possible, I assume.
I suppose so.
Well, just in case it's refugees when,
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it'd be okay. So
Okay.
the point
All
is
right.
though that there's some things that you can't touch, like murder laws, but you can touch pretty much everything else that your heart can really imagine, as long as
Okay.
it's within your control. You know what I mean?
Okay. All
So
right.
if you want to tax people for bringing fruit from the north to south, do it.
Okay.
Set up weigh
All right.
stations.
Yes.
Allow officers to search people bringing in potential stuff over the
Yeah.
border. You could genuinely do that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Hell yes. Okay. Not that I would. I mean, we're getting along really well, but okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Everything's gonna be split in twain. You guys are gonna have your own budgets. You're also gonna have your own bank account too, which will be for your authorities. And I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to discuss with you
Yeah.
about that.
Okay. Perfect.
So yeah, your weed legislation is probably gonna be going through any hour now. I think it's like been a day, 2 days.
Oh my God.
I don't
Awesome.
know.
All
But
right.
you just put it in once it passed the 3-day time limit. I'm sure it'll be soon. No one's
Easy.
planning on contesting it, so.
Perfect. Any questions for me, Angel?
Yeah. How long until you try and take over the PD and become a terrorist and fly
Oh
around in the sky shooting people down?
hell no.
When's that happening?
Hell no.
When's your Mayor Max arc
No.
gonna happen? You know?
I uh, I would never want to have anything over this week consisted of me hearing that 4 LSPD officers were fired. I want nothing to do with that.
Yeah, that was. I actually wanted to let you know about that. The marshal's been
Yeah.
hard at work.
Yeah.
I
I've
don't
been
know, have you heard about Maven Riker? Anyone informed you about this?
very I was actually going to take Tilly's case, like what was it, like 5 weeks ago or something like that, but due to being too close, I recommended Kit, so very early on. What the worst thing about it is
Kit's been great.
Riker, I remember with 80% confidence, let's say, that Riker told me he looked through the SIM card. But it wasn't.
He probably did.
Yeah, but I wasn't it wasn't enough where I'd feel comfortable making that statement. But when I looked at that report, I was just like, it sucks because it's like, if that happens, it starts to put into question other officers. So
Exactly. If he's editing his statements and excluding shit, who else is doing it?
Yeah. No.
How can we know, really?
Yeah.
So that's why
true.
it's important that we acted swiftly and harshly with this. Criminal charges have been posted on the docket today.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, it'll be our first criminal case, but
yeah.
It does kind of pain me that the marshal's main focus has been basically firing officers from your department. But if you think about it, we're helping you out.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. Yeah, I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done across the board, but I think the city's set for a very interesting couple months. So.
Oh, I 100% agree.
Yep. All right.
Honestly, this whole system's been working a lot better than I thought it would, frankly. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything else. As long as people are on board with trying something new, I mean, that's where the magic comes from,
100% agree.
All right.
100% agree, and I think that's why all this has been going pretty swimmingly so far, is because people have been pretty receptive to a lot of what we're doing.
Yeah.
So.
1,000%.
All right, Nino, well, I'll leave you to it. I'm sure that you'll enjoy playing around with your mayoral finances once that's taken care of.
All right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is it called right now? What's it called?
The state finances?
All right. Well, you'll know it's going to be like that one that says Los Santos County Finances, okay?
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm going to go out of here. I got to call Viv. Best of luck with your mayor stuff. I'm looking forward to see what else you push forward.
I was actually.
So you have a big legacy to leave.
All right. Appreciate you.
Right,
hey, Nino.
Viv.